Hey everybody, it's Jen with Two Sister Bees. Welcome to the Hive. So today is going to be a different video for me. I've never done a budget video. Obviously my budget is in there, my expenses, my debt confession. I also have some tips for you guys. I sold a vehicle and purchased another one, and I've got quite a few things that I want to tell you about that. If you want to see how I do my budget, stay tuned. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you guys is my calendar. I try to be as consistent with this as I possibly can. I do write down, Amazon purchases, Jason's gas station runs, Rayleigh's food, things we buy for birthdays, it goes on and on. So this is actually a very loose version of our spending. I do like to see it in front of me. This helps me with making sure that I am at least trying to keep track of where my money goes. Now, what I actually do for an exact amount is at the end of the month, I print out my bank statement and I categorize and highlight every single thing and do the math. Now, this is what has really changed everything for me. And this is why budgeting is so important. I have mentioned before that my bank statements, before I was doing no spend and saving money, was anywhere between 15 to 20 pages long. Now my bank statement is 4 pages long. This is manageable. If you're going to do a budget, I would suggest to really start trying to watch your money first, being more aware of where you're spending it, be more mindful of where it's going. This is my end-all be-all here. This has ended up saving me money in the end. Before, I wouldn't even look at my bank statements. I could not keep track of that. I totally ignored them. Now that I'm doing it this way, I have found expenses or charges that were inaccurate, overages, all kind of things that I can now go back and get my money back. So that is a very big deal. And I'm going to give you a couple examples of those later in the video. Okay, so let's get into this budget binder and see how I'm doing things. This is new for me. There's probably going to be a lot of changes that I make as I go along, but for now what I'm doing seems to be working, and I'm sure later on I'll find better ways of doing things, and I'll let you guys know when I do decide to change things up why I did it, so maybe it will help you too. So I want to show you the first thing here is this weekly budget. And like I said, I do things on a monthly level as far as the bank statement. This is the most important thing to me. However, this weekly budget helps me in the meantime keep track of where my money is going. So I do fill these out once a week. And these are in the back. As you can see, this was my last month's, and I'm not going to show you guys what's back here, but because there's a lot of personal information, but there is my monthly budget sheet, and then I keep my bank statement in there with all the highlighted categories. At the end of the year, that'll make things easier for me when I do my taxes as well. So this has a lot of uses. The weekly budget leads up to my monthly budget. So the next thing I want to show you is my debt watch, and I guess this could be considered my debt confession. These are all of the credit cards and a loan that we paid off in 2021. This is when I was loosely keeping track of my money and trying to pay off debt. I was aware, but I would say that now I am woke. I have definitely changed up how I'm doing things, and all of this will go a lot faster than this did. All of this is paid off. As you can see this year, just last month, I did pay off my PayPal, so I'm happy about that. And this Wells Fargo Visa credit card has definitely taken a hit, and I will show you guys that in a moment. We have sold an RV that was $60,000. That was sold on 4/11. That RV is gone. We're keeping the smaller RV that's $41,000. The truck, this is another big conversation I want to have with you guys. That truck was $67,154. We had this truck to pull this big RV, but we're no longer doing that. So we thought to ourselves, why are we paying for this expensive truck with this huge payment when we just don't need it anymore? So we just got rid of that about 5 days ago. I can now write the word sold next to this truck. And I think we sold it, I'll have to look back at the date. I want to say on May 1st. We just sold it. Yay for that. That's a big one. So let's add up the debt that I have and see where I'm at. Okay, so my total, $309 $393, and that includes my house, so it's not so bad. But I have a couple things that I need to update on this. So the first thing would be I need to add the car I just purchased. Is $28,769. Okay, so I added the car, and that makes me go to $338,162. The other thing I need to do to make this accurate for right now is show you guys my very first debt attack sheet. These are all available also, just to let you know, in my sister's Etsy store. So these are a new thing that she has just posted in the store, and I started with my Wells Fargo Visa. This is the biggest credit card debt that I have. So I started with $18,490. About a week ago, we knocked half of that off and made it $92.45. We decided, you know what, let's just go ahead and put another $2,000. So we took that down to $7,080. So now we've taken the $338,000 down to $326,752. I don't know if you can see that. And don't forget, that includes my house, so I don't feel too bad about that. Let's subtract the house and see what debt is minus the house. Okay, so debt minus the house is $152,452. It seems like a lot, I know, and I don't have a goal date necessarily in mind. I'm not sure how long that's gonna take us, but I will keep you guys updated. There is my debt attack for Wells Fargo, my Home Depot card, my Wells Fargo loan, the RV, the new car, and unfortunately the IRS. That is my debt confession for you guys. And the next thing I'm going to talk about is selling the old vehicle and purchasing the new. Okay, so let's move on to this vehicle situation. The first thing is the truck was $67,154. That is gone. We have purchased a car for $28,000. I want to tell you guys the difference between the two. $38,385. So we wiped out $38,385 in debt just by getting rid of one vehicle and purchasing another. Now I know that is excessive. That is absolutely not a normal thing. It is still an idea that everybody should keep in mind. If you have a vehicle that you can't afford, or it's just not really serving you like it was when you first got it, consider selling it and maybe downgrading into something that is not as expensive, or maybe is easier on gas or has lower insurance, because all of these things do tie into my new vehicle. The insurance is less, the gas is less. It is just all around been a good decision for us. Plus we've saved $38,000. And we've also, from getting rid of the RV, that was another $61,000. So we've wiped out, just in the last month, over $100,000 in debt. Like I said, just always be aware of where your money's going, and that's really what this boils down to, is keeping track of that money, because somebody, as my dad used to say, always has their hand out, and they do. It's unfortunate, but it is the game and it is the world we live in. So the other thing I want to show you, and this is something that I would have completely missed if I was not keeping track of all of my expenses. So these are the printouts, as you can see, American Airlines refund, right? Well, these total $477 that we are supposed to get back for seats that we purchased. And I would have never seen this. There were so many charges from American Airlines, because what they do is they break everything up into very small amounts. I don't know if they're doing it on purpose to make it confusing, but it's certainly working. But I did end up seeing this, and as I said, it totals $477. American is saying, we refunded it to your PayPal account. PayPal, however, is saying, no, they didn't. They refunded this much money. So I am now in a dispute situation with American. PayPal has started a dispute for me, and now I have to wait, I think, 10 days before I can get my money back. So there's another $477 that is my money, and I had to be aware, know my budget, know that that money was missing. So this is a big thing to keep in mind as well. Doing a budget is going to do you nothing but good. That's the main point that I'm trying to get across to you guys, and I hope that that really sticks with you, that doing a budget is going to benefit you in every way, shape, and form. So now we're going to move on to my variable expenses, and I know the light is kind of shining on these papers, so I don't know if you can see them, but this is my variable expenses, and I'm going to come back to this. This is something that my sister has come up with, and it's an expense tracker. And at first, I didn't think I was going to use these, but in her video, she explained why these are important, and I actually love this, and now I'm going to start using it. So the reason she did these is so if you have a specific category that you are spending more than others, and you really want to keep track of yourself and make yourself even more accountable, these are a great tool. So I've decided that I'm going to use mine for, surprise, surprise, Amazon, Sam's Club. These are my biggest spending areas. And the last one is just going to be miscellaneous, because I've noticed from doing my bank statements that I have a lot of weird miscellaneous things. And I want to keep track of those and make sure that I'm not going overboard with miscellaneous spending. So those are going to be my new 3 things this month that I'm going to start keeping track of on these expense trackers. And obviously at the end of the month, I will show these to you and show you how I did. So that'll be something to look for. And the next thing is this no spend garden. I was going to start this in May. As you can see, I have not. I'm probably, well, not probably, I'm definitely going to start this in June. The reason I'm not starting it now is we are going on vacation. We leave tomorrow, so I don't think the no spending is going to work too well on a vacation. I'm going to hold off on this and leave it until June. I will show you this later as well. And moving on to my monthly expenses. Now this is my actual budget sheet. My sister has this one available, and it's very good. I love it, but it just didn't fit me. And the reason it doesn't fit me is a couple reasons. The biggest one is, and I'm going to show you the difference from this one to this one, the fixed expenses and the variable expenses. I have a lot of fixed expenses, which I'm going to show you on the next sheet. I have it filled out, and my variable expenses also can get pretty crazy. And at the bottom here, I want to show myself at the end of the month what I put in cash envelopes, what is in my savings account, and how much I have put on my extra debt payments. So this is really important for me to have all of these things on one sheet at the end of the month. We're going to see my monthly expenses, and as you can see, these are all my fixed. The ones with the check marks are my auto payments, and these over here are my credit and debt and the payments that go along with those. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add up all of my monthly expenses. I'm going to add all of them together, the fixed and the credit. So let's start with that. Okay, I've added them all up, and my fixed expenses come to $3,343.52 per month. These are obviously things like mortgage, electric, cable, lawn, our life insurance, typical stuff. Now over here is our extra debt, and that totals more than our necessary bills, and this is the problem. So as you can see, this is $4,000, this is $3,000. Once we have this $4,000 back into our pockets every month, our lives will be completely different. It's insane. So I want to tell you the total. So the total monthly amount is $7,399.88. Those are my monthly bills. This does not include groceries. This doesn't include gas. That doesn't include anything. So as you can see, this is excessive because of this. And this is why I'm doing all of these things that you're looking at today to get rid of this. So we can only have this number. This is a doable number. This stresses me out. So we're going to change that. So what I want to tell you guys is it is the beginning of May. So this is going to be worked on all month. I'm going to be putting in my variable expense totals with my Wells Fargo statement at the end of the month, so you'll be able to see. And I don't know if you can see this, but I actually added the words want and need. I'm going to keep track of myself on that. Did I really need that, or was that just a want? And hopefully at the end of the month, those will be mostly ends. Let's hope for the best there. And the last thing at the bottom are the things that obviously I can't fill out today because the month hasn't really begun, but I'm going to have my cash envelopes, how much I saved in those, my savings account total, and my extra debt payments to show you guys. And there will definitely be updates on all of this. I will show you guys everything I did throughout the month of May. But I hope this was a good start for my budgeting videos, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're not a subscriber to our channel yet, you got to hit that button because we have so many things going on our channel, and it is only going to get better, and there's only going to be more for you guys to see and honestly to learn. We're all learning together, and that is probably the biggest part of this channel that my sister and I are really enjoying, is we're learning things together. So I hope you guys will hit that button and subscribe and be a subby. Check out this next video over here that's ready for you to watch. All you gotta do is just let it go. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.